From the New York City area, welcome to the Badass Counseling Show, where the master badass himself, Sven takes you deep and gives balm for the soul, baby.
Welcome to the Badass Counseling Show. It's great to have you here. You have reached us in time for another counseling episode, whether you are tuning in from Calgary or Cary, North Carolina, Latvia or Louisiana, Africa, or Albuquerque. It's great to have you here. I'm Sven Erlinson, and I'm joined in studio by my team, KC, right over there in the booth, and Rob the Rocket sitting next to me. Rob, how's Carly, the studio cat, doing today?
She is half asleep, but I'm sure our audience is wide awake and ready to go.
Yeah? And you're doing all right, Rob?
I'm doing very well. As our stoic listeners all know, the obstacle is the way, and you show them.
Well, I tell you, we are here because healing shouldn't have to take a long time. So let's get some healing done.
Good plan. We have Blaine on our show today, Sven, and Blaine wrote in and said, "My wife and I have been dealing with infertility for the past 9 years. I've been angry at life and God," and he puts God in all caps. "I've struggled to be happy since our IVF treatment failed in 2020. It changed both of us. Our marriage has been different the past few years as I've bottled up all my anger and frustration and used whiskey to calm down my overthinking. We both don't know what we did wrong in life, and it hurts so freaking much. I've prayed every day to a God that either is on vacation or doesn't give a shit. I feel like a failure and feel like I've let my wife down. We want kids so badly. I'm scared that if we adopt, I'll never love the child since he or she would not be our own. I feel awful thinking that way, but I'm worried I would end up being a bad father if it were to happen. I'm journaling so freaking much, but I can't get out of this hole. I'm tired, Sven. I reached out to you because you seem genuine and like you actually give a shit."
Blaine, welcome to the show.
Hey, Sven.
Good to have you here. Let's go ahead and dive right in on this. I've struggled to be happy since our IVF treatment failed in 2020. And then you say it changed both of us. Our marriage has been different the past few years. Okay, I've struggled to be happy. What was it, above all else, that changed you, or how did you most change since the failure of the IVF in 2020?
I think I changed the most because I was just I was so hopeful to be a dad. Like I wanted to be a dad for so long.
So you went from hopeful to what?
To being let down. And I mean it's not her, it's both of us, you know, that are infertile or have like mild infertility. But I felt like it was just yet another letdown in life.
I see. So you've had a lot of letdowns before that.
A lifetime full of it, yeah.
Okay. And prior to that, what was your single biggest letdown in life? Take your time. There's no rush.
I don't even know the answer to that, Sven.
What's been the biggest letdown? What was the biggest disappointment of your life? What's been the most frustrating thing about your life? Top of the list. I'm sure there was a whole bunch because you said that, so I totally believe you. But what's top of the list?
I know before the IVF, I should be happy. I should have been a father, and Sven, I don't know how to answer that. There's
then
so
what
many.
caused you to say, okay, there were so many. So then just give me one. What was one letdown from your life prior to that? You said there were so many. What was one?
Oh, I'm never ever good enough for anything, for anybody. I never have, and I never will be.
And I'm never, ever good enough. And is it safe to say that that has been there since the beginning?
That started when I was young, like in elementary school.
Okay. Elementary school.
That started really, really, really young. Everywhere I went, no matter where I went and have been, I've always felt like I just never belonged.
Understood. And what was the what was the message you were getting at home? Was the message you were getting at home that you weren't good enough, or were you getting this message at home that you're wonderful, you're fantastic just the way you are, you don't have to change, you're the most wonderful kid in the whole world? What was the message you were getting at home?
That's a weird one because the one I got at home was, oh, I was the middle child, and I never really got anything. I never really got any message. My mom was a complete bitch. My dad was working two fucking jobs just to support us because my mom worked. She spent every dollar that we've ever had, so we grew up poor. And
so if mom's a bitch, so then if mom is a complete bitch, what was she a bitch with just her actions, or was she a bitch with her words as well?
With both.
Okay. So what was the worst? Nope. I'm running the show here. What was the worst thing that your mom ever said to you? If she was a total bitch, then what was the worst thing that you can recall your mom ever saying to you or said repeatedly to you?
I remember her screaming at me when she found out that I was cutting my wrist back in high school.
And what did she scream at you?
How could you fucking do this? He's like, how could you? She was just screaming at me, and I kind of blurted out. But I do remember, I was like, fuck. The only thing I wanted to do in that situation, I just wanted to die, Sven.
Of course you did. And the reason you wanted to die was what?
Because I never I hated myself.
Right.
I did. I fucking hated myself because I had no friends, nobody who ever gave a shit about me.
Mm-hmm.
And I was in the worst time of my life. And
what was the worst thing? So you're cutting yourself, and your mom, rather than, oh my God, sweetheart, come here. I'm so sorry. What's going on inside of you? Come here. Let's talk about it. And then you start pouring out your guts, and she should be like, fuck, I did this. Honey, this is on me. I'm so sorry. You're a wonderful boy. You didn't get any of that. You got, how could you fucking do this? Like you did something to her. It was all about her. So you just remember her screaming at you. So let me ask you this. In all the times that your mom screamed at you, what was the worst thing that she ever said to you about you? What do you remember her saying to you? Like calling you stupid or loser or fatty or, old four eyes. What was the worst thing you remember your mom saying to you?
She didn't say any of that.
Well, then what did she say? Because you said she was a bitch. So in what way then? If she didn't call you names, in what way was she a bitch?
She treated me differently than my sisters.
How did she treat you differently? How? She screamed at you. We know that. How else did she treat you differently?
I was like her favorite. I don't know why.
Wait.
My older sister was the fucking bastard child, and I didn't find out until years later that I was supposed to be aborted.
A what?
And I was supposed to be aborted.
Aborted. And you were supposed to be aborted.
I was supposed to be.
Okay, so your sister was the bastard child. Now, do you mean that literally, or mom would just treat her like a fucking asshole?
She hated her. She
hated your sister. You were the favorite, and then was there any other siblings?
I had one younger sister.
And the younger was treated how?
She got everything. She called her the princess.
So you weren't the favorite.
Fuck, maybe not.
I'm just trying to understand, because you've simultaneously told me that mom screamed at me and she was a fucking bitch, and then you went on to tell me that I was the favorite, and then you went on to tell me my sister got everything and she was the princess. So was your mom a fucking bitch to you, or were you the favorite? Because if somebody's the favorite, you're not a fucking bitch to them. So what happened? You're doing great here, buddy. You really are. You're doing great. Just take your time. Talk me through it. What were some of the messages you got from mom, either from her words or from her actions? Were you her favorite and she was a bitch to you? And if so, how were you her favorite? How did she treat you?
I hated I hated that I saw how she treated me differently than my two sisters. I hated how she said, "Oh, you're my boy, you're my special boy," and I am like, why are you doing this to me? You hate my older sister, and you never like I knew early on that well, we were both mistakes. Well, no. My older sister was a mistake. I found out later on that I was a mistake. Um, but she was never really there for us. Um,
And in what way was she not there for us? Because you just said that
um,
you've told me she was a bitch. You've told me a total bitch. Then you told me you were the favorite and that you're my special boy, but then you say she's not there for us. So help me understand. Just you're working it out here, buddy. You're doing great.
uh,
Help
I'm
me understand.
trying.
No, you're doing great. You're
Um,
doing great. Sometimes it can be really confusing. Help me understand. How did mom treat you? Did you get hugs from mom? Let's start there. No hugs.
Not that
Okay.
I
You're shaking
remember.
your head.
She just liked to buy shit for us.
Okay.
That was her form of giving
Okay.
love.
She bought shit. And then she would say, "You're my special boy." Okay. And yet, did she yell at you a lot or just that one time when you were cutting or what? The screaming?
It was that one time. It was that one time. And the rest of it, it was her yelling at my dad. I don't ever remember any time in my life where they didn't fight
Okay. So they fought often,
every
uh,
day.
every day. Okay. And then you say, but she wasn't there for us. And in what way was she not there for us? Was she a stay at home mom?
No, she worked full time.
Worked full time. And so
Yes,
when you say she wasn't there for us, do you mean she wasn't physically home or in what do you mean some other way?
it seemed like emotionally, she. I'm trying to get the words out.
Take your time.
Sven, when we were born, she wanted a different life. She just wanted a different life. She wanted to go to school. She wanted to go to college and do something else. When we were born, it was like we were a burden to her.
Right.
I don't really know how else to explain that
No, I
in
totally get
depth,
it.
but
I totally get it. And I hear that from people. And actually, I was going to go there when you brought up the abortion. I was going to come back to that. Because if somebody was supposed to be aborted or someone was an accident child, it's quite common for the parent or parents to resent that child and fundamentally take it out on that child for the rest of their life. And so let me ask you, do you feel like, and maybe you don't, I don't want to put words in your mouth. Actually, I'll put it in your mouth. You taste it. If it doesn't taste right, spit it out, okay? Like tasting wine. Do you feel like she took her anger out on you? Because you said she, referred you as her special boy, and she bought you guys gifts, but there were no hugs and so forth. So do you feel like she took her anger out on you, or didn't, or you said you felt like a burden? So help me understand.
I think she kind of took her anger or frustration out on us. Um, and then, years later, I think she just felt like the way she was trying to repent, I guess, would just shower us with gifts. And I am like, I don't want that. I just want you to tell me, I love you. I love you, son. You're doing good. You're not a fucking loser. I know you're getting picked on at school. I know you're getting your ass kicked and bullied because being the only fucking white kid in a school in LA is not exactly easy. Um, but I didn't want the gifts, man. I didn't. I just wanted to be told, hey, I love you, son.
And
She's overdoing it now, and
right.
now that I'm like, I fucking hate you. And
And what's the
I
one thing above all else that you hate her for most? above all else? What's the biggest thing you hate her for?
Right now,
Top.
it's knowing that I was never wanted. I was a fucking mistake, and the only thing I want in life is to be a dad. And when
Why?
I found out
Why?
that,
Why? Why is the only thing you want? Nothing wrong with that. I'm not dogging you for that. I'm just curious. Why is that the only thing you want in life? How will being a dad heal that wound?
I'll get to be the dad, the parent that I never really got, and I want to raise my own child and just protect him from this sick, cruel world, and be I would spend like every freaking possible moment I possibly could just teaching them how to be a good person, how to be, um,
And so then when the IVF didn't go through, you got robbed.
yeah, yeah.
And you're
Well, we
crying
both
right
did.
now.
Well, we both did.
Sure you did. Of course you both did. You had your hopes in that. And I have no doubt your wife did as well. Give me a feeling word. What are you feeling right now? Feeling word.
I'm uh, I'm frustrated.
What's the single most frustrating thing?
I've lost hope. I've lost hope. I mean, I don't know what else to say. I feel powerless. That's what's frustrating about it is because I'm just so powerless in this situation. Like I can't control any of it. And being just being so fucking powerless. It's hard, Sven.
Mm.
And a lot of times like we're out here and I feel alone. I know my wife feels alone too. And we just have nobody. We have no one that says, "Hey, I know what you're going through. Here's some support. Here's what helped me."
Mm.
I got none of that right
Mm.
now, and it sucks because I feel like I let her down. Like I don't know how she does it, but she doesn't. She compartmentalizes a hell of a lot better than I do.
Yeah, you got a lifetime of pain in there. You got a lot of lifetime of pain in there, Blaine. It's more than just this. And your hopes and dreams were riding on this, that even if I couldn't do anything else right, I can do this right. I know I can, and I'm going to do it right. And we're going to build our own family, and we're going to do it right. Right?
Yeah.
Yeah. It's heartbreaking. It's heartbreaking. How old are you, Blaine?
I'm 38.
38. Okay. Well, we're going to take a quick break, and we're going to come right back. Okay, Blaine?
Yeah. Yeah.
All right.
Most books on infidelity are written by people who've only seen one side of the story. Not this one. The author of Cheating Sucks has been the one betrayed, the one who cheated, the other man, and a counselor for 30 years. He's seen the wreckage from every possible angle. This isn't textbook theory. It's raw, real-world experience. Before you listen to the promises of your partner or the pressure from your family, you need to hear this. You can't decide your future while you're still broken. Stop asking the world for answers and start healing you first. Cheating sucks. Get the practical advice you actually need at badasscounseling.com today. Available in audio and paperback.
This show provides soul counseling intended to entertain and inform and is not medical advice. Now, back to the badass.
And we are back with Blaine, who has, since 2020, really been broken over the IVF treatments failing. And he and his wife have had their marriage changed. And you go on to talk about how you feel like you've let your wife down and you feel like a failure and so forth. Does she feel like you have let her down?
No, and she says I haven't. We talked about this the other day, and she says I haven't, but I can't get this feeling out that I have.
Right. And the thing you have to understand, Blaine, is that is a lifetime of conditioning right there. You are conditioned from a very young age to believe that you're a failure, that you're no good, and that you're going to screw up everything. And so your default, you are just hardwired. You were wired. It was baked into you at a young age. You weren't born this way, but you were wired at a young age to believe that if something goes wrong, it's your fault, that you're the fuck up, that it's on you. So you believe that, even if it goes against all logic. All right? Even though it feels that way, like it is your fault, it's just not true in this case. There is no fault. It just is what it is. And it sucks and it hurts and it's powerfully painful. There's no doubt about it. Couples that go through this, it's just so heartbreaking. And you said that you fear that if you guys were to go with adoption, you fear that you might not love the child. And you fear that you might, and as a result, you might not be a good dad to the child. And I imagine you fear repeating the exact same thing that you fucking went through growing up. Right?
Yeah, yeah.
That
And
having
I don't want to go through that. I don't want to put a kid through
of
that.
course.
I don't like I never really got to see my dad when I was young. I got to the only time I saw him was when he drove us to school in the morning. Then he had to go to work and then work a second job.
And so
And
then what sort of feel or vibe or messages did you get from your father?
it was pretty hard because I rarely saw him. I know that he loved me because I know he was a mechanic and just like I am and he always tried to teach me things. He always tried to he brought me along when he was working on stuff and he was like, "Hey, I want to teach you this." And there's me just being this little pipsqueak just holding the flashlight for him. And no, he didn't
That's
yell at me
great.
like the typical the typical, all the damn right. Um he I know he loved me. I know he did. Um
He didn't say it, I assume.
I've only heard my dad tell me I love you, son, once in my life.
How old were you when that
Um,
happened?
um, I I was shit. I think I was like 19. I was deploying to Iraq. It was before I went to deployment, and
Sure.
and
Wow.
he told me I love you, son. Because I didn't know what to expect, and they didn't either.
Right.
Um,
So it took
but
you going to fucking war and potentially dying for him to fucking open the fuck up and share some fucking feelings. How did it feel?
it felt great hearing it.
It's awesome.
It did. It
That's
did.
awesome. And I've heard different things. I've heard, and a lot of times it's, it's fathers and sons. It's not always, but I had a guy who had just graduated from BUDS training for SEALs, and he said, my old man said it, and I'd never heard it my whole life, and it was a little disorienting at first, and then once it sort of sunk in, I felt like, fuck you, old man. I don't need it now. I needed it back, 25 years ago when I was, 3, 4, 8 years old. Where were you then, man? You were there, but you could have said this back then, you fucking coward. And then I've had other guys say that they heard it, and just like you, it was just like rain in the desert. It was like, oh my God, it was the warmest, most wonderful thing I ever heard. So that's why I asked you that question.
It was good to hear it.
And let
It
me
really
ask you,
was.
okay, so let me ask you a question. Is it a parent's job to tell their children that they love them?
Absolutely.
And neither of your parents did that, correct?
No.
No. And is it a parent's job to protect the child?
Yes,
Okay.
absolutely.
And so you got no protection from the bullies at school. And what do you wish your parents would have done?
This one was on me. I wish I
Oh,
would have told them. I wish I would have told them.
you wish you would.
Um,
So they did not
I was
know that you were being bullied at all.
not until I was in high school, and then I well then I started cutting my wrist, and that's when I ended up going to therapy when I was
Sure.
in
Let
high
me,
school, but I
okay.
just didn't want to tell them. I was ashamed. I was embarrassed.
And you didn't want to tell them. And why? I understand you were ashamed and embarrassed, but what did you fear happening if you told them?
I guess how could you let this happen?
Okay.
Sven, my dad, he's like a badass. He's just
Understood. What did you
I
fear
I
mom thinking or saying?
I don't know. I don't know how
Well,
to
see,
answer that. I
you
don't.
were cutting yourself and your mom yells at you. You were how old when you did that?
I was I was 16.
You're 16 years old and your mom is yelling at you. And your mom, I'm going to ask you a strange question here. You do your best here, Blaine, okay? Just do your best. It's okay if you can't nail it or whatever. That's fine. Your mom yelling at you when she finds out you're cutting yourself, was that action for her, her sort of acting that way? Was that in character for her or was that sort of out of character for her to be that way?
I would say out of character.
Oh, she didn't yell at
Uh,
people for stuff?
no,
Really?
I did. At least I
Because you
didn't
said
hear it.
earlier all she ever did was yell at your dad.
Oh, yeah, my dad. Yeah, yeah.
Okay. So
They
that
just
was
fought.
out of character. Because then let me ask you then, why did she yell at you in that moment? If she was misunderstanding and never yelled, then why did she yell in that moment?
I couldn't. I don't know. I think she was just angry that her fucking child feels like he has no other option but to do this to
Why
himself.
would she be
And
angry?
I
Come on, you're doing great. You're doing great. Stay on the thread. Why
I
would
don't feel
she
like I'm
be
doing
angry?
good.
I don't care what you feel like. I'm telling you, you are doing great. Your feelings are wrong in this case. You are factually doing kick ass, and I'm fucking proud of you. Now, stay on the thread. Why would she be fucking angry?
I think because her perfect little boy, and it's just didn't come to her.
Okay, and didn't come to her. Okay, yeah, no shit, I didn't come to you. You can't fucking handle it, old lady. But anyway, then if my perfect little boy let me down, that no doubt made her feel what?
I guess angry at herself.
Why? Why would she be angry at herself? You're doing great. Stay with it. You're doing great. If her perfect
I
little
don't know,
boy let her,
Sven.
no, stay with
Oh
you. You're
shit.
doing great. Stay with me right here. I'm with you here, buddy. That my perfect little boy let me down. Now I'm angry at myself. He's doing this cutting thing. He's supposed to be perfect. Damn it, you're a letdown. And I'm angry. Now I'm angry at myself because what does it say about me? Or what does it make me feel? What does it say?
Being a shit mom.
I'm a shit mom. Right. So in other words, you being real and expressing your feelings, she didn't fucking want that. Because your real feelings make her feel like she's a shit mom, which, sorry, but if you got a son who's fucking cutting himself, there's probably we're probably leaning in the direction of one or both parents are potentially shit parents. Oh, what do you know? The kid's not being protected at school. Do you know what often happens? Not always. When a child begins to be bullied, there is a character shift. There's a personality shift in the child.
I became really closed off and quiet.
Yep.
It's why
you
I
noticed.
have now.
Fuck, I just said it. You just fucking, you said, I went through a personality shift. You just fucking named it in 2 seconds flat. You've had trouble answering other questions, and that was fine. You took your time. But on this one, boom, instantly you had the fucking answer. Even you knew that you changed. And what's fascinating is either A, your parents didn't notice it, or B, they didn't notice it or they did notice it and didn't do something about it. Now, which would you guess it was? Do you think they didn't notice it? How old were you when it happened, by the way? When you first shut down?
About 15 is when I just shut down. I had nobody. The only people that defended me were teachers when it got bad enough.
Okay, so let me ask you this. If you are 38, that means you were 15, 23 years ago. So we are talking about 2003 would have been.
Yes.
Bullying was a big fucking deal back in 2003. Now, I understand you were in the LA schools, but if you've got teachers defending you, that means obviously they are conscientious and they are conscious of it. I lived in LA back during those exact years. Okay? Literally those exact years I was living in LA. Okay. So not that that's relevant, but so the teachers are conscious of it and the schools are conscientious about bullying. The teachers are defending you. Let me ask you this question. What do you think the likelihood is that a school that is conscientious about bullying and teachers who are conscious of bullying to the point where they're defending you, what do you think the likelihood is that the school contacted the home of the child?
I would have hoped they would have.
Precisely. In fact, I'm willing to bet by 2003, that was fucking protocol. I am willing to bet, especially, and you didn't say a teacher. It was Mr. Hansen, the shop teacher. He was the greatest and blah. No, you said teachers. So there's a clear issue here. I am willing to bet. Sorry, I'm one of those people who's still a believer in public schools. I really am. And teachers are good fucking people, conscientious people, and they're trying to defend you. I am willing to bet that your home was contacted. So then that if that is in fact true, then that blows up your theory that mom and dad didn't know. If it's true,
it takes a different spin on it.
Oh, you're fucking A right. It takes a different spin because that means they didn't fucking protect you. And your bullying was so bad that you wanted to fucking kill yourself. Or at least you were in the ballpark. You were self-harming, which is in the ballpark. It's moving in that direction. Right.
Yeah.
And when did your bullying first start in your life?
Shit, I would say about 12, about 11, 12.
11 or 12, right. And
when I was in middle school.
And a child's, not always, but generally, there'll be a personality change. And a conscientious parent will pick that up. Generally, not always.
Yeah, I used to be outgoing. I used to try to make friends. I used to always be like, hey, do you want to be my friend? As pathetic as that sounds, that's just my.
Oh, that's a kid.
That's my
fine.
deep down personality.
That's fine. That's fine.
But when I got older, I shut down because I said, well, fuck, nobody likes me anyway.
Right.
Well, why the hell do I even try? So
right.
I ended up just kind of, I know when I was in high school, I ended up just hanging out in the drama room.
And so and go ahead. Sorry, finish that thought.
Because that's the only place where I was accepted and felt safe.
Beautiful.
Just with the drama kids, and
Beautiful.
Everyone thought they were weird. I mean, fuck, I had no friends, but they were the kindest, most genuine people I've ever met.
Amen.
And they accepted me.
Beautiful.
And but that didn't happen until like my senior year.
Understood.
When I realized I could spend my lunch breaks there.
Understood. And so you said that changes things to consider that. How for you does that change things the most?
If they'd known about it, why didn't they fucking help me? I took a fucking knife to my wrist multiple times. I'm like, why didn't they help me? I was like 14, 15, going through my worst time in my life, how high school is.
Yeah, but you had worse than the average high school experience. You were getting bullied. You were literally, by definition, a victim of bullying. So bad that even your teachers were defending you. So bad that you started cutting yourself. So I'm sorry, that's not the normal. Normal can be bad. I'm not disputing that, but this is beyond normal.
It makes perfect sense why I have a white hot hatred for them.
Yeah.
And the bullies.
You understood. And the truth is, now, they're 38, that you have a white-hot hatred for some 15-year-olds. That if you met now, hell, for all you know, they'd look up to you for what you've done with your life. And for all you know, who knows? Maybe they're nice people now and they'd apologize. Who knows? I apologize. I was at a funeral of my very first girlfriend. We had been 13 and she died about, 15 years ago. And I was at the funeral and I ran into an old classmate from elementary school up through high school. And this particular person was the most picked on person in our entire class, easily. The female that was most picked on. And I ran into her, and I'll just call her Kelly. And I ran into Kelly and I said, "Hey, Kelly, how are you? We're catching up and all this." And I knew I wasn't going to see Kelly again. I hadn't seen her in fucking 25 years, whatever. And I said, "Kelly, I want to take this opportunity to apologize." I said, "I bullied you back in 6th grade and, some in junior high. And you got bullied and shit on by everybody." And she said, "Well, Sven, thank you. That means a lot. It's one other person did that, called me out of the blue and did the same thing. And so thank you." She said, "I'll be honest with you, Sven, you weren't one of the worst ones, but thank you anyway." She said, "Can I tell you something, Sven?" I said, "Sure. And I want you to listen to this, Blaine." She said, "You used to be my paper boy." I said, "Yeah, I remember." I said, "You guys lived up on such and such street." She says, "Yeah." And she says, "Sven, do you remember how we had this row of pine trees next to our driveway?" I said, "Yeah." It was a pain in the ass because I always had to ride my bike back out onto the street to get to your front step to throw the paper on your front step. I couldn't just ride across, Mr. Olson's yard to get onto your yard. She says, "Yeah, exactly." She says, "Well, I was the youngest of 6 kids, just like you. And I was about 3, 4, or 5, whatever she was. And I was playing out in the driveway one day. And my oldest brother had just gotten his driver's license. And he came into the driveway too fast. And because of those pine trees, he didn't see me there playing. And he hit me with the car. And I guess she went on to say, and I don't remember it exactly, she went flying and she had to be rushed to the hospital, surgeries, all this. And it's been 15 years since I heard the story. I don't remember the exact stuff, but she said, "Sven, they patched me up." And I said, "I never knew this, Kelly." She says, "Yeah, I know. I never really told anyone, not that it's a big deal," but she said, and they patched me up and there was no permanent damage or anything. And she said, "You know what the effect of that was, Sven?" Now, mind you, this was the most tortured person in our class, female. And then we had one guy who was as well, but she just it was brutal. She said, "You know what the effect was, Sven?" I said, "No, what?" She said, "Because of that, my oldest brother felt so guilty that every meal after that, in a family of 6 kids, and you know what it's like, Sven, 6 kids around a table." I said, "Yeah, I know." She said, "I always ate first. When we were down watching TV in the basement, my brother always insisted that I had the best spot. We always watched what I wanted to watch because my brother insisted. My brother sold his car so that I could have a new bike. My brother never got new clothes after that. He made sure that I got new clothes. I was treated like a princess in that house, and my older brother made sure of it. He felt so bad. I was treated like a queen at home," she said. So what that meant, Sven, was for the most part, all that teasing, all that bullying at school rolled off my shoulder like water off a duck's back. For the most part, it didn't affect me because I was getting this powerful message at home that I was loved and that I was so special. And it was so much, Sven, that on my 18th birthday, after I blew out the candles, my father slammed down his hand on the table and he said, "Okay, now enough." And he turned to my brother and he said, "Any debt that you owed her has now been paid. We're going back to being a normal family now."
That's fucked up.
It's beautiful. It's beautiful that the father let the son off the hook, that the debt has been paid or any debt you thought you owed her or whatever. And so the beautiful thing is that she experienced that bullying that you experienced. But because she was getting this powerful message at home, totally counter message, total opposite of what she was getting at school, the bullying didn't affect her. Or very, 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 very little. In fact, you got yelled at when you were cutting. You got, sure, you're a special boy, but it was just gifts. There were no I love yous. Okay? Okay. And you said, gee, I guess I knew I was loved because he would teach me things. That must be love. But the bottom line is it wasn't enough love. You weren't getting the hugs and the attaboys and the I love yous or whatever. You weren't getting the counter message. In fact, with mom being a raging bitch, you were so sad. And I saw how she treated me and not my sisters. And you didn't like it. And it made you feel bad and all sorts of things. You grew up believing that, I'm just not going to be good at anything. You said from elementary school. From elementary school, you were getting those messages. Well, you said your bullying didn't start till 12 years old. That means you were getting that message somewhere other than the bullying. That leaves at home. That you're not good enough, that you can't get anything right, whatever it is. Unlike Kelly, you weren't getting that powerful message at home. The very message that you want to bring when you have a child. You want to bring a message of love, right? And empowerment.
Absolutely,
right.
Protection.
Now, what does it say? Now, let me ask you this question then, Blaine. What does it say that you want to raise your children differently from how you were raised? Aren't you fundamentally saying that you don't like how you were raised? Aren't you fundamentally saying that you were raised poorly?
Yes, we were.
Oh. So then let me ask this. If you were to be totally honest, what percent was your mom a good parent and what percent was your mom a bad parent?
A good parent, maybe 30%. Bad, 70.
And what percent was dad a good parent and what percent was dad a bad parent?
Dad, I would say 60% good, 40% bad.
Really? So
It's hard
dad was
because he
twice
never
as
there.
good. Dad was twice as good a parent as mom. He did things so much better. What precisely did dad do that made him twice as good as mom? We already know he didn't protect you. We know that. We already know that he was afraid of your mom because she's always yelling at him and he's just eating her shit. But what did he do? He didn't protect you. We know that he taught you things when he took you to work. So that's nice. But does that justify him being 20% or twice as good as mom? What precisely did he do that makes you think he was twice as good a parent as mom?
He didn't treat my sisters like shit.
So he didn't treat him like shit. Okay. So that's something he didn't do. It's like the girl who says to her girlfriends, oh, I'm dating this new guy, Paul. And Paul, he yells at me a lot, but he doesn't hit me. So that's good. He's awesome. Yeah, he yells at me, but he doesn't hit me. It's like, isn't that kind of a low bar that if you don't yell at your kid, then you're a good parent?
That's a pretty low bar, yeah.
I mean, it's great that he didn't yell at your sisters. That's great. When you look at parents, just overall, in general, other people's parents and kids and stuff like that, you're at the ball game or you're at the grocery store or whatever. Overall, I mean, no parent is a perfect parent, 100% of the time, whatever. It doesn't exist. Okay, but what percent of the time, as you see it, what percent does a parent have to be a good parent in order for you to consider them overall a good parent?
Gosh, at least 70%.
At least 70%. All right. At least 70%. And neither of your parents were 70% a good parent. So you are fundamentally telling me that both your parents were bad parents.
Yeah, I didn't think my dad was, but, well, fuck. I mean, you put it into a whole new perspective, and I knew my mom was. But now I'm like, well, fuck, I don't know what to think.
Give me a feeling word. What are you feeling right now? Be honest.
I'm confused.
Okay.
I mean, I don't know if that's a feeling word.
It absolutely is.
I'm confused. I am.
That's fair. Now give me one more feeling word. That's good. That's legit. Give me one more.
Relieved.
What do you feel like you're most relieved about?
That I wasn't wrong about my feelings of growing up. And if the schools did contact him, I'm feeling like, well, what the fuck? You should have protected me.
Yeah.
I wanted to be homeschooled, Sven. I remember asking, I said, I don't want public school anymore. I want to be homeschooled. And now they couldn't do that, obviously, because
you were begging them to get you the fuck out, correct?
Yeah.
Because, yeah.
I was like 140 soaking wet. I was a nerd. I just had severe acne, Coke bottle glasses, long fucking hair, and I'm like, I was I was like super geek, you know. Um, I don't know how else to put it.
Can I tell you how, first of all, before I forget, can I tell you how grateful I am that you served for our country and you went and served in a goddamn fucking war?
Oh, thank you.
I didn't serve in a fucking war. You're more badass than I am, man. That's badass
Yeah.
shit, man.
Yeah, I went twice.
Once wasn't good enough. Holy shit, man. You're more badass than I am. As that shit goes, it's just raw fucking courage, face the fucking bullets and face war shit. It's hardcore. How many of those little fuckers that, were bullied you then, how many of them have done that? I'll bet a very, 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 very small percentage, if any. Right.
I don't even know where they are in life.
That's right. And you probably have the respect of a whole lot of the guys that did bully you, because at the very least, they'd say, hey, man, tip my hat to that. Can't argue with that. Facing bullets, sorry. That pretty much tops pretty much everything, or a whole lot of shit. So there's that. But yeah, no, you weren't wrong about your feelings growing up. You weren't wrong. So I want to, we got a few minutes left here, but I'm going to ask you this question. So let's say you have a child. Let's just pretend. Let's say you and your wife decide to adopt a child. And I, just for the record, I have no doubt you would fall in love with this child.
I hope so.
Oh, fuck yeah. Dude. Fuck yeah. Absolutely. Absolutely. So you have this child. Let's just pretend. You have this child. And you raise this child as your own. And, when it's a baby, it's got those cute cheeks and you gobble those cheeks up and, you change the diapers and you see their fat little belly and you slurp at their belly, and you wrestle around with them. And, oh, man, I love fucking little babies and 2-year-olds. And I loved my kids when they were young. And they're all right now in their 30s. But I loved them when they were little shavers. They were awesome. Anyway. So you grow up and you fall in love with your kids and, you teach them baseball and, and whatever else and how to turn a wrench and, all that stuff and teach them how to bake and fry an egg and, all this stuff. And just grow up and you just enjoy being together, but you're also firm with them and you discipline them and, the usual stuff, right? You and your wife are good parents and all that. And then let's say it's 5th grade and you get called in. You get a call from the school psychologist and the principal, and they ask you to come in. We'd like to meet with the two of you. And you're there in the principal's office, or the conference room right off the principal's office, and the district psychologist, one of the team, and your son's teacher, and the principal, they're there, and then you and your wife are there. And the psychologist, I'll just pretend like I'm the psychologist for play, and says, listen, thanks for coming in. Your son's teacher, Mrs. Erickson, she has relayed to me we got some disturbing information, and I've met with your son a few times, and we just want to relay to you, we want to loop you in on what we've found out, and that is that Mrs. Erickson overheard your son saying a few times to some friends that he hates himself. And I've met with your son a few times, and I can confirm that he has said that, and I've approached it in a few different ways, and that message has come out. Now, what goes through your head when you hear that?
What the fuck did I do wrong? It's like how did I let my child down?
What the fuck did I do wrong? How did I let my child down? And is it reasonable to assume that your wife, who sounds like a very lovely person, that she would likely have a similar response inside of her?
She would want to fix it. Yeah.
Okay.
We go, hey.
What have we done wrong?
What's going on? What
Okay,
have we
fair.
done wrong?
Sure.
Let's fix it.
Okay. So then
I don't want a child to go through the same shit I went
of course
through.
not. Of course not. So then what you are saying, if I am hearing you correctly, what you are fundamentally saying then is that a child feeling very strong self-loathing is a result of the parents doing something wrong. Is that correct?
That's how I feel, yeah.
Your initial response is, what did I do wrong? Honey, what did we do wrong? We caused this. This isn't normal. A child shouldn't feel this way. What did we do wrong? How did we cause this? Is that correct?
Yeah.
You felt that! What did your parents do to make that happen? Your first thought when you were in with the school psychologist and the principal was not, what did the kids on the block or in the neighborhood or in the school do? Your first thought as a conscientious parent in my office, if I'm the school psychologist in the principal's office, your first thought is, what did we as the parents do? Because we think, we believe it is true. What the fuck did we do wrong? Yes. It's the parent. They have ultimate responsibility for protecting the child. They have ultimate responsibility for building up that child. And if that is not happening, that it's so bad that the child hates themselves, yeah, it's on the fucking parent. So why the fuck is it different when your parents are the parent and you're the child? Logically, in your system that we just looked at, by that system, your parents should be the ones looking at. I'm willing to bet. You said I've been doing a lot of journaling. I'm willing to bet you have been holding back when it comes to the feelings with regard to mom and dad. You even said earlier, I hate my mom.
Yeah.
I bet there's a whole lot more that needs to come out. I'm willing to bet. I mean, your fucking dad, you've already said he didn't fucking protect me. Neither did your mom. No, you were conditioned to believe that you were the problem. You said that started back in elementary school. That was one of the first questions I asked you. You said elementary school. Why? Your bullying didn't start till you were 12. That's middle school.
Because I was alone back then. I had no friends. I had nobody, nothing.
Exactly. And it is nonetheless the parent's responsibility to make sure the child feels loved. We call that's a form of abuse. A child being alone, that's a form of abuse. It's called neglect. Especially if you're not even telling the child that they are loved and making the child feel like they're a burden. I'm just curious, what the fuck did they do right? Well, they put food on our table and roof over our head and clothes on our back. No, they did that so they wouldn't get hauled away by Child Protective Services.
They bought us things.
Oh, they bought you things.
Yeah.
How convenient.
My mom would just shower us with gifts.
So wait a minute, just so I'm
form
clear.
of love.
Wait a minute. Just so I'm clear, they could afford to shower you with gifts. They had enough money, to your words, shower us with gifts. Is that correct?
Yes.
So she was working to have enough money to shower you with gifts. And you earlier said that all dad's money mom was spending.
Yeah.
So there was a surplus of money in the home. It's not like they're working two jobs to, just be able to keep the lights on. So she didn't need, so maybe she didn't need to be working full time to buy so many fucking gifts and be spending all of dad's money, that maybe she could have been home with her kids, just, I don't know, giving them love, doing crafts projects, to helping them with their homework, or just, I don't know, or maybe dad could have been home more. They're both working full-time fucking jobs so that they can have more money to shower more gifts? Huh. And you know what? I'll be very honest with you. If you aren't going into this shit and you're fucking journaling, you're still defending them. Because they chose the lifestyle. They chose to have the money that they could spend, that she could spend, rather than taking that time, saying less work, less money, so that we can be with the kids. They chose their lifestyle, their pocketbook, over actually raising the kids that they chose to have. What's going on inside of you right now? Be honest.
I'm angry. I'm fucking angry.
Exactly.
I'm fucking angry, like even more than before.
Exactly.
Well, not at myself, but at my parents.
Exactly. Now, I don't care what sort of relationship you have with the living, breathing parents. I don't need you to ever confront the actual living, breathing mom and dad. What I need you to do is to confront the ones that are inside of you and begin to fucking pull up your stories and start journaling about that shit. I need you to start writing them letters that you don't send. Okay? What you do, living, breathing parent, you don't need to make any decisions on that shit anytime soon. What you do need to do is you need to be going back in there from the perspective of the child was innocent. The child was innocent. There is no way in hell a 6-year-old boy is unlovable. There is no way in heaven or hell a 5-year-old girl or an 8-year-old boy or a 9-year-old girl is not worthy of love or doesn't matter. It's literally impossible. That means if that child isn't feeling loved or is feeling like they're at fault or they're no good, it means somebody is teaching them that. Even if they're teaching them that by not teaching them that they are loved. Mom and dad didn't protect you from aloneness. I guarantee you'd be a much better parent, infinitely better parent. But I guarantee you'd be an even better parent if you actually heal your own fucking past. Have you read my book, There's a Hole in My Love Cup?
Yes, I am.
Did you?
I'm on chapter 26 right now, and I'm going back and doing the journaling from the beginning.
Good. Now you've got to really attack this from the perspective of looking at the parental shit differently, because I think you had a few things blown open this evening. Is that correct?
Yeah, I didn't see that about my dad. I was like, he's my dad.
Right.
And you
needed to believe that somebody loved you, because otherwise that would mean you were alone the whole time. And you ask yourself the question, one of the things you said for the reason you want to come on the show is because you seem like I seem like I give a shit. And you ask, well, if they didn't protect me, why didn't they protect me? Why didn't they go to the school? If the school logically would, if the teachers are defending you, and in 2003, in all likelihood, bullying was an issue in the schools, and it's obviously an issue for those teachers, in all likelihood, it's not for sure, but in all likelihood, the schools would have contacted the home. So if mom and dad knew, then what the fuck? Why didn't they do anything? And the bottom line is, if they didn't do anything, then don't their actions say they didn't give a shit?
Yeah.
That's not love. There is no definition of love that I don't give a shit fits under. So the fundamental truth, now again, there are some things that aren't for sure here, but I guarantee you've got more memories inside of you that if I had more time with you, we could pull out, and you're going to have to do some of this work on your own. I want you to come back on the show. I want you to go through the book, and I want you to do more of this shit. But your self-loathing that you feel about the IVF isn't about the IVF. Yes, it's heartbreaking, yes. But the truth is, you and your wife can have a profoundly loving marriage and a profoundly loving family. You can build a family. I guarantee you will fall in love with a child.
We would be good parents. I know I would. I fucking know it. And I'm just like,
you're scared.
What the hell did I do wrong? I'm terrified. Because how do I, if it's my own child, yeah, it's automatically, I'm like, yes, but how do I love a child that's not mine?
But it's not automatic. Wait a minute, but it's not automatic. It was, your parents had their own child. There goes the automatic theory. They didn't love you. You already said they weren't good parents by your percentages. And to me, that's not love. Now, maybe to you, it's love to not protect your child. But no, they fucking, treat your children with neglect, not tell them you love them until they're going to war. Fuck you, old man. Yeah, it feels good, but it's like, come on, old man. Where the fuck was that 15 years ago? How old are your parents?
My dad's, I think, 62, and my mom, I think she's 58 or 59.
I'm 59. My girlfriend's 62. Same generation. I had 4 older brothers, all right? I grew up in the tough guy generation, too. It's just like, give me a break. You can't say I love you. No, he chose not to. To his own fucking child. And he knew how. Obviously, he knew how. He said it when you were 19. The words aren't that difficult. He chose not to say, I love you to you. All those years, he chose not to. Your mom chose not to.
hard for me to say it now. I mean, when I do talk to my dad, it's like I want to, like at the end of the conversation, I want to say, "I love you, Dad," but I don't know how.
Well,
I don't.
but the bottom line is you want him to say it to you.
Yeah.
And you should, I mean, in a way, it should have been coming your whole fucking life. He knew how. He said it when you were 19. The words aren't that hard. He just never did. And by him doing that, what happens is a vacuum is created inside the child, and the child brain is feeling, I'm not loved. They're not around. I'm not valued. I'm not protected. I'm not hearing words, I love you. I must not be lovable. That's precisely the message you got. I'm not lovable. I don't matter. So when you said I didn't get messages, you absolutely got messages. The absence of messages, I love you, and you are worthy, and you matter, the absence of those messages is a message. And the message is, you don't matter. That's not love. And so as a result, when the child is not, mom and dad are good, mom and dad love me, the child believes. So if I'm not getting that love, I must be the problem. Something must be wrong with me. No, there's no way the child could be the problem. You've already established they weren't good parents by your own reckoning of adult numbers. And we're struggling to find any way they actually showed love. And one last question. What % did you actually feel loved when you were, let's say, 8 years old?
Gosh, I would say 50%.
You got to choose some number other than 50. I can't 50. Let you... Any other number other than 50%. Get off the fence, man.
Fine, 40.
40%?
Off 40%.
So if a child feels loved 40%, your parents made you feel loved 40%, or you felt loved 40%. Do you see that as a loving home?
No, it wasn't.
Exactly. They didn't protect you. They didn't create a loving home. It's just like, fuck, man. But in your brain, you've been defending them. They must be good. They must love me. And I must be the problem. No, it's just the opposite. There's nothing wrong with the child. It's impossible. The problem was up there, mom and dad. And you've been protecting them the whole time because you needed to believe that they loved you and that they were good. And they weren't. They fucked up. And they have done nothing since then, I'm guessing, to atone for that. So they've doubled the sin.
I know my mom's been trying to reach out, and I've cut her off, and
it's your choice.
I feel terrible, but because she's my mom, and I know I hear that fucking message almost every show. Oh, because they're my mom, but
you don't hear that. Yeah, you hear it from other people. You don't hear that shit from me. You're under
I know that.
Right. You're under no obligation. Blaine, we've sort of turned over a lot of things today. You got some fucking serious journaling and letter writing to do. Don't send those letters. You gotta go down deep now. So we've turned some shit upside the fuck down. All right? If you have any questions on what you're working through, reach out, okay? Send out a question, and my assistant will get it to me. If you have like one or two questions, just go ahead and send them. But you got to get down into this shit, man.
I know we're looking heavily, really into adoption right now. I know we put it off for like 6 years because we both have just been kind of like frustrated and angry. But I know there's a support group where I'm at, and for infertility and child loss support group, and the host of the group, she said, if you want to get really serious about adopting, he's like, you let us know, and we want to do it.
Are you in? And you're in the support group?
We just started.
Good for you.
About a couple of weeks ago, and what I've learned is I'm not wrong in feeling like this, just being angry at God and angry at life. I'm not wrong. I thought I was just being out here, literally having nobody I know going through the same through the same shit. It's you feel like you're stuck on a fucking island with just no way out, and it sucks.
It does. And I'm glad you got that support group. And the truth is, you made one comment. You said, you're angry at God and life and so forth. Nothing wrong with being angry at God. Trust me, God can take it. That for those who believe in God, I will say God can take it. But then you went on to say, I've prayed every day to a God that either is on vacation or doesn't give a shit. There's a third option. And the third option is that God just has a different plan from you. You want what you want, and God's like, dude, I got something even better. I know you think you know what you want, but I got something better. And you're like, no, this is the best. And God's like, oh, my child. There's an old saying, we make plans, God laughs. And the truth is, you had, at the very least, I mean, I can already see one good thing that's come out of you guys not getting the child you wanted your way. One good thing is it's forced you, we've already seen tonight, to confront something you've never confronted in your entire life. Seeing your parents for who they really were. That would have never fucking happened if you had gotten everything you wanted in having the child in. And you're like, yeah, just give me the fucking child. No, because you know the parent you would have been? You would have been repeating a lot of those same patterns. Because let me tell you something, people who say I'm just going to do the opposite of my parents, they often make total mistakes going the opposite way. It can be even worse, actually, believe it or not. And I'm not going to get into it right now because we don't have time. I've done it on other episodes. So this is forcing you to heal. And I guarantee you, if you continue to do this work, I guarantee you, and I know you're going to think I'm fucking insane. You're going to want to wring my neck. And if you've gone to fucking war in Afghanistan, you probably could wring my neck, okay? But 5 years from now, if you do this healing work, if you guys end up choosing to build a family by adoption, the day is going to come when you're going to say, oh my God, it was a blessing. This is even better. You just can't see it yet. God's plans are bigger than your plans, my friend. You just can't see it yet. I know it's not what you wanted. But if for those who do believe in God, I can tell you God's plans are way fucking bigger than yours. You're going to be abundantly happy.
I hope so.
Oh, it's not. It's beyond it. And I know from your perspective, it's like all you got is hope. From my perspective, you do this fucking healing work, and your wife needs to be doing this shit too. She needs to get a copy of the book. She needs to be reading the fucking book. You guys do the fucking healing work. I guarantee you're going to love any children you guys decide to have. You're going to be insane with love. You want to know why? Because all three of you are going to be like three fucking orphans. Children that weren't wanted, and you're building a family. And let me tell you something. I always tell people some of the best Thanksgivings you have are when you're living in a different city and you ain't around your own family, and you build your own family made out of friends, out of people you didn't know before. It's like a land of misfit toys. You're going to have a family that's made up of the land of misfit toys, and you're going to be this family by choice. A family by choice. That child is going to choose you. You are going to choose that child. Isn't that in some ways even more beautiful?
Probably the best feeling in the world.
You would think. Right, because we already know just biology doesn't mean shit. You grew up in a biology family, it didn't mean shit. All right, my friend. Thank you so much for coming on to the show, Blaine. You are fucking awesome.
Oh, thank you.
I hope I didn't beat you down too hard.
Not terribly, but I do have to say, I listen to this show a lot, like religiously now, and it is a lot harder to get the words out when you're on this side of the microphone.
That's
like,
all right.
You're just, my mind just goes blank, and I'm someone who can't shut the fuck up when I'm talking about something I want or like. And
you were awesome.
But
You were awesome. You were awesome. Once you got going, man, you were right in the groove. Give me a feeling word. What are you feeling right now?
I feel different. I feel more excited to adopt. But before I went into this, I was just terrified of going to like, well, do I even want to go this route?
Sure,
But now
that's legit.
I do. I do. And I know that, and I know that I'm going to be a good dad. I know that. I fucking deserve it.
Yep.
And my wife does too.
You bet. And the biggest thing you can do to be a good dad is heal your own shit from your past. You do that thing, that's the biggest thing, because your parents never healed their own past. You heal your own past, that will guarantee you'll be conscientious, you'll be wonderful, you'll be deliberate. All right, I love you, brother. Thank you so much for coming on the show, and thank you again for your service. We are truly blessed that you've done what you've done to keep us safe.
Oh, thank you, Sven.
You betcha.
Blaine, I would always only suggest that right from the beginning, you tell your adopted child that you are my adopted child and I love you and I chose you. And make sure you do that from the very beginning, because you don't want that kid to be confused about their identity later on. I've seen this happen and it's not pretty. So it's a beautiful, beautiful thing, but you need to be totally upfront with it.
I love that. I chose you. We chose you. I love that. We chose you. You are beautiful. We chose you. Love that. Love that. Well, guys, on behalf of my team here, I know we are so grateful Blaine came on the show, and love it when men come on and are just vulnerable and pour out their hearts. It's such a treat. On behalf of my team, I want to thank all of our listeners around the world for tuning into yet another fascinating episode of the Badass Counseling Show. Slay your demons, because healing shouldn't take a long time. Have a kick-ass day.
The Badass Counseling Show is strictly copyrighted. No copies may be made without the express written consent of the Badass Counseling Show, LLC. The Badass Counseling Show is produced by Karen Camparelli and Robert H. Friedman. Executive producer Sven Erlandson. Original music by two-time Emmy Award-winning composer Trevor Morris. Have a kick-ass day.